In today's lesson, we'll learn suspended chords in the keys of G and C major. We're going to use chords that we've learned already and add pitches to them in order to create melodic embellishments within chord progressions. Basically, we're just going to make the chords a little bit more fun to play by moving our fingers around a little bit like this. Those of you with a little bit of music knowledge from previous experiences may be interested in the theory aspect of suspended chords, so I'll give a really quick explanation. Up until this point, we've learned major chords, minor chords, and dominant seventh chords. Those are the ones with the little 7 next to them. Minor chords and major chords are built using 3 notes each. Dominant seventh chords add a 4th note, the 7th degree of the scale. The 3 notes used to make major, minor, and 3 of the 4 notes of the dominant 7th chord are called the root, the 3rd, and the 5th. Those names correspond to scale degrees or solfege syllables. The root note is do, the 3rd is mi, or may for a minor chord, and the 5th is sol. Suspended chords will not use mi or may. They will use re or fa instead. Do not worry if you're not following all of the music theory concepts that I'm speaking about. I'm trying to keep them to a minimum, but give you good information as they are not required to physically play the songs that you know and love. Let's start with the C major chord and use it to learn a C sus4. As I'm sure you recall, the C major chord uses the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Strum all 4 strings and you've got a beautiful sounding C major chord that you could find in at least 5 million songs. Once we have our C chord in place, we'll add our index finger to the 1st fret of the 2nd string, like this, and strum all 4 strings. C sus4 consists of 3 notes, C, F, and G. It will normally come before or after a C chord. So let's start with a C chord. Play each chord 4 times using down strums at a slow tempo. We're going to play C and then C sus4. Play along with me. Here we go. 1, 2, C, chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, sus. Again, C, 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 sus4, 4. Now listen to the sound. One more time. C. End on a C. Awesome. Let's stay in the key of C major and we'll look at the G chord along with the G suspended 4 and the G suspended 2. Let's start by putting our fingers on a G chord just like this. Now that you have your fingers pressed firmly and curved nicely on the G chord like me, let's go ahead and strum that 1 time and make sure it sounds clean. If it doesn't, just think about curving your fingers, pressing hard, and placing your fingers in between the frets. Okay, the first suspended chord we'll go over related to the G is G sus4, or G suspended 4. It's very simple. All you have to do is add your pinky to string number 1, fret 3, right underneath your ring finger that's currently residing on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Pinky goes here. Now you have 2 fingers on string number 1, the middle finger and the pinky. That is exactly what we want. When you add the pinky to make a G sus4, keep your middle finger on fret 2 so you can remove your pinky and easily go back to a G chord. G sus4, G. 9 times out of 10, a suspended chord will be followed by or preceded by the major chord of the same name. In other words, G sus4 will usually come before or after a G. The same goes for G sus2. Now that we have our pinky on string 1, fret 3, along with the other 3 fingers of the G chord, let's strum that. Beautiful. That's G sus4. Now, remove your pinky so we're back on the normal G chord. Go ahead and strum that one time with me. Very good. Now, in order to play a G suspended 2 or a G sus2 chord, all we have to do is remove the middle finger from string 1, like this. Now string 1 is open and should sound like this. If you notice that your first string is dead, it's probably because your ring finger is interfering with the first string. Make sure your ring finger is curved and only on string 2. It should not be touching string 1. G sus2. We're going to play G 4 times, then G sus4 4 times. Remember, that means you're going to add your pinky to the G chord. So G, G sus4. Then we'll go back to the G chord, strum that 4 times, followed by G sus2 4 times. G sus2 is a G minus your middle finger. Then we will repeat the whole thing and then move along. We're going to start the metronome at a slow tempo, 60 beats per minute, and we're going to play G, G sus4, G, and G sus2 4 times each. Put your fingers on the G chord. I'll count to 4, and then we start. 1, 2, here we go. And G. Add the pinky. Remove the pinky. Remove the middle finger. And repeat. G. 2, 3. Add the pinky. sus4. Back to G. Remove the pinky. And sus2. Remove the middle finger. End with a G. The same suspended concepts that we talked about with the G chord will apply to the G7. You could start with the G7. Add your pinky to the 3rd fret of the 1st string to play G7 sus4. Remove it to go back to G7. And then remove your 3rd finger so the 1st string is open for a G7 sus2. G7, G7 sus4, G7, G7 sus2. The last chord that we're going to deal with in the key of C in terms of suspended chords is the F major chord. We will learn the F sus4 and the F sus2. Technically speaking, the F sus4 does not occur naturally in the key of C, but we'll make an exception because it sounds nice and we like it. Remember, music theory does not tell you what to do, it just explains what people already do. It's not rules, it's just explanation and a means of communicating musical ideas. Okay, let's start by putting our fingers on an F chord and strum that just to make sure we have that nice and clean. F chord, 2 fingers, here we go. Very nice. By adding your 3rd finger to the 3rd fret of the 4th string, like this, we're going to generate an F sus4, and that will sound like this. So again, F major, F sus4. Then back to F. In order to generate an F suspended 2, we're going to start with the F chord and remove our middle finger, so we only have the index finger left. So, to review that, F major, add the 3rd finger for F sus4, remove the 3rd finger, back to F, and then remove the middle finger for F sus2. See how we get a little melody in the chord? Now let's move along to the key of G. The only new suspended chords we're going to need to learn to complete the key of G are D sus4, D sus2, D7 sus4, and D7 sus2. Let's go ahead and place our fingers on a D major chord. As you recall, D major chord has 3 fingers on 3 different strings, all on the same fret, fret 2. D major chord sounds like this. Go ahead and play it with me. From the D major chord, all we need to do to generate a D sus4 is add our pinky to the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. The same string that our ring finger is already on. We want both fingers there because D sus4 is usually preceded or followed by a D major chord. So D, add your pinky, D sus4, back to D. Go ahead and play that a couple times and take in the sound of it. D, D sus4. From the D major chord, we can generate a D sus2 by removing our 3rd finger, our ring finger, or whichever finger you have on the 2nd string. So now we've got fret 2 on the 4th string, fret 2 on the 3rd string, the 2nd string is open, and the 1st string is open. D sus2. Let's play D chord 4 times. Add your pinky for a D sus4. Remove your pinky for a D again. And then remove your ring finger so string 2 is open for a D sus2. Now that we have D major, D sus4, and D sus2 under our belt, learning the D7 sus4 and the D7 sus2 will be very easy. As you recall, a D7 chord is the same as a D major chord. Just remove, in my case, the index finger. In your case, whichever finger happens to be on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. We took a D chord and we made the 3rd string open. We have fret 2 on string 4, fret 2 on string 2, the 1st string is open and the 3rd string is open. To generate a D7 sus4, all you have to do is add your pinky to the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. D7 sus4. D7, and then to generate a D7 sus2, remove whichever finger is on the 2nd string. In my case, it's the 3rd finger. D7 sus2. D7 sus2 looks and sounds a lot like A minor because it's the same. Sometimes the same fretting has different names depending on the song you're playing or the function of the chord. In other words, if I play a D7 and then remove my 3rd finger, it functions as a D7 sus2. However, let's say I'm playing a C chord and I go to the shape that I just told you was D7 sus2, it's going to sound like an A minor because it is an A minor. Again, the function will determine what the chord is. Sometimes, don't worry if you don't understand that, just believe me that the same chord can have different names. For the final portion of this lesson, I've added a short composition called In the Air. It's a study in suspended chords. I think it's fun. I had fun writing it. Hopefully you'll enjoy playing it. It's pretty simple. We're just strumming. Take a look at the example in your workbook and do your best to strum along with me. Nice and slow. I'm going to put the metronome at 70 beats per minute this time, and we're going to use the strum pattern down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. Okay, here's the metronome, 70 beats per minute. The first line is G, G sus2, G sus4, and G. Second line, we move to the D7 family. D7, D7 sus4, D7 sus2, D7. The third line, back to the F from earlier. We've got F major, F suspended 4, F suspended 2, back to F. And the final line has two chords, C and C sus4, we'll count that as the C family, and D7 and D7 sus4, that's the D family. Do your best to keep up with me, but if you can't, that's okay. Practice and come on back. Here we go. 70 beats per minute in the air. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and G. sus2, sus4, G, D7, sus4, sus2, D7, F, sus4, sus2, F, C, C sus4, D7, sus4, and on G. Sus chords are in the air. Go ahead and practice that on your own, and I'll see you at the next lesson.